Pillar 1, Financial Stability. When you reach 60 and beyond, life begins to reveal truths that you may not have noticed before, and one of the most important lessons is that financial stability becomes your most reliable pillar of support. When you were younger, it might have felt natural to assume that family would always step in if things went wrong, that your children, siblings, or close friends would somehow carry you through rough patches. But as you age, reality shows you that this belief is not always practical. Your children, no matter how much they love you, have their own lives to manage, mortgages to pay, children to raise, careers to handle, and financial challenges of their own. Depending on them for money, even in emergencies, puts you in a vulnerable position and can strain the very relationships you cherish most. Think about Richard, a 72-year-old man who spent his life helping his kids through school, lending them money when needed, and believing that when his time of need arrived, they would naturally do the same for him. But when an unexpected medical issue drained his savings, he turned to them for help and quickly realized that they were already stretched thin, juggling debts and expenses of their own. It wasn't that they didn't care, it was simply that life's demands didn't leave them with much to give. That's why financial independence after 60 isn't about being wealthy, it's about being prepared, about building a safety net that ensures you won't be left helpless or forced to beg for help when unexpected challenges arise. True financial stability means having enough savings tucked away for emergencies, securing a steady retirement income you can rely on, budgeting wisely so your expenses don't outpace your resources, and avoiding unnecessary debt that could weigh you down when you should be enjoying your later years. It also means having a plan, knowing where your money is going, having insurance or medical coverage that shields you from sudden expenses, and getting advice from a trusted financial expert if you feel unsure. This pillar is more than numbers in a bank account, it is your independence, your freedom, and your peace of mind. When you know that your financial house is in order, you can sleep at night without fear of being a burden on anyone, you can make choices about how you spend your time and energy, and you can live with dignity and control. Ask yourself today, do you have a plan that would protect you if an emergency came tomorrow? Do you have enough saved for unexpected costs? Is your retirement income secure and dependable? If the answer is uncertain, then the time to act is now, not later. Because once you lose your financial stability, you also risk losing your freedom, and freedom is the one thing no one should have to give up in their later years. Financial stability is not just money, it is the assurance that no matter what life throws at you, you will stand strong, prepared, and independent. Pillar 2, Physical Health. The second pillar, and perhaps the most personal one, is your health, because once you cross the age of 60 you quickly realize that no amount of money, no level of success, and not even the deepest love from family can replace the gift of physical well-being. At this stage of life, your body becomes either your greatest ally or your most difficult obstacle, and the reality is, no one else can take on this responsibility for you. You can't hire someone to eat nutritious meals in your place, you can't ask a family member to take your medications for you, and you certainly can't send a friend to walk or exercise on your behalf. These are choices and actions that only you can make, and they directly shape how much independence, dignity, and joy you will carry into the years ahead. Think about Carl, a 68-year-old who worked hard his entire life and looked forward to the comfort of retirement. At first, skipping his morning walks and enjoying heavy meals every evening felt like a well-deserved reward after decades of effort. But over time, he noticed troubling changes. He became breathless just climbing the stairs, even simple groceries felt heavy in his hands, and everyday routines like bending, reaching, or getting out of bed became harder than he ever imagined. What Carl didn't realize was that each day of neglect was silently chipping away at his strength and independence. The powerful truth, however, is that the cure doesn't require extreme effort or impossible sacrifices. You don't have to run marathons, spend hours in the gym, or give up every food you love. What makes the difference are steady, thoughtful choices that you commit to consistently. A gentle daily walk, a few minutes of stretching, balanced meals filled with vegetables, fruits, and proteins, staying hydrated with enough water, and keeping up with routine medical checkups can completely reshape your aging journey. It's also about being attentive to your body's early signals, new aches, chest tightness, or changes in walking or breathing aren't just inconveniences, they're messages that need attention before they grow into something more serious. When you listen to these signals and act early, you protect your independence and preserve your ability to live on your own terms. Taking care of your health isn't only about extending your years, it's about adding life to those years, waking up with energy, moving with ease, enjoying outings, hobbies, and conversations without being held back by fatigue or illness. Every positive step you take towards better health is truly a step toward freedom, because when your body is strong, you get to decide how you live rather than relying on others to manage your day. The greatest reward is not just how you feel today, but the confidence and security of knowing that tomorrow, you will still be capable, active, and in control. If you truly want to protect your independence and happiness, the best investment you can ever make is not in possessions, houses, or accounts, but in your own body, through mindful movement, nourishing food, medical care, and self-respect. Your health is your real wealth, and without it, everything else becomes secondary. If this message resonates with you, type 2 in the comments to let me know you're here, and don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon, because every week I'll be sharing practical, uplifting tips to help you protect your health and independence in the years ahead. Pillar 3, your social circle. The third pillar of a strong and fulfilling life after 60 is your social circle, the friendships and community that give meaning to your days. Family is a blessing and will always hold a special place, but the truth is, it cannot always meet every emotional and social need. Children grow up and become busy with their own lives, relatives move away, and the rhythm of life often scatters people in different directions. What many seniors discover, sometimes painfully, is that relying only on family for companionship can leave long stretches of loneliness, and loneliness at this stage is more than just a passing sadness, it has real effects on mood, memory, health, and even life expectancy. Human beings are wired for connection, and after 60, those connections become not just pleasant but vital. Think of Margaret, a 73-year-old who loved her family dearly but found herself sitting alone most days, waiting for phone calls or visits that became less frequent. She started to feel invisible, as if life had moved on without her. But then something changed. She reached out to an old school friend, joined a local community group that met twice a week, and discovered a new hobby she enjoyed with others her age. Suddenly her days were no longer quiet and heavy, they were filled with conversation, laughter, and a comforting feeling of being seen and valued. Her health improved, her outlook brightened, and she felt a renewed sense of purpose. That's the power of a social circle. It doesn't have to be big, you don't need dozens of friends or endless gatherings. What matters is having a handful of steady, reliable connections, a neighbor to check in with, a walking partner, a club that meets regularly, or even an online group that shares your interests. These relationships act like emotional anchors, they lift you in hard times, give you joy in ordinary days, and remind you that you are part of something larger than yourself. They also provide practical support, someone to share advice, drive you to an appointment, or simply listen when you need to talk. Building and maintaining these bonds takes effort, but the reward is priceless. The truth is, isolation chips away at both health and happiness, while friendship strengthens them. So reach out, even if it feels awkward at first, rekindle old ties, say yes to invitations, or create new opportunities to meet people. Your future self will thank you, because a strong social circle is not just about avoiding loneliness, it is about living with warmth, purpose, and resilience. It is a real pillar of support that will not crumble when family life changes, and it will carry you through the years with more laughter, connection, and meaning than you might imagine possible. Pillar 4, a sense of purpose. The fourth pillar of a meaningful life after 60 is a sense of purpose, because once the roles that kept us busy for decades, work, raising children, daily caregiving, begin to fade, many people suddenly feel unanchored, as if they've lost the reason to get out of bed each morning. Family can give you love, but they cannot hand you the inner drive that fuels your days, that comes from within, from having something that matters to you, something that makes you feel useful and alive. George, a 70-year-old retired engineer, discovered this the hard way. For months after leaving his job, he felt restless and empty, his calendar was blank, the phone was quiet, and his sense of identity seemed to vanish overnight. But then he began volunteering at a local workshop, teaching children simple engineering projects, and everything shifted. Suddenly his days had rhythm again, his mind felt sharp, and he carried a smile that even his family noticed. That is the power of purpose. It doesn't need to be grand or world-changing, you don't have to start a company or write a book. Purpose can be as simple as tending a garden, mentoring a neighbor, volunteering at a food bank, caring for pets, learning a new skill, or setting small daily goals that give structure and pride. What matters most is that it matters to you. Having a reason to wake up in the morning fills your days with energy, sharpens your thinking, strengthens your emotional health, and even supports your physical well-being. Studies show that older adults who feel they have a purpose live longer, stay healthier, and experience greater happiness than those who feel adrift. Think of it this way: money gives you security, health gives you independence, friends give you connection, but purpose gives you direction. Without it, even the best days can feel hollow. With it, even the simplest days shine with meaning. So take time to rediscover old passions, try out new hobbies, or find small ways to contribute that make you feel needed. It could be writing letters to grandchildren, joining a local choir, helping at your place of worship, or even starting a project you always put off when life was too busy. The beauty of purpose is that it can be deeply personal and unique to each person. What lifts your spirit might be different from what excites someone else, and that's exactly as it should be. The key is to choose something that makes you feel useful, connected, and proud, no matter how small. Because at this stage of life, your worth is not measured by titles or paychecks, but by how much joy, meaning, and contribution you can still bring into the world. If this part resonates with you, type 4 in the comments to let me know you're here, and don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path for more ideas, encouragement, and practical tips on thriving with purpose in later life. Pillar 5, Emotional Resilience. The fifth and final pillar is emotional resilience, the quiet strength inside you that helps you face life storms, recover from setbacks, and keep moving forward with peace and dignity. After 60, life often brings changes that test the heart in ways we may not have expected. Friends and loved ones pass away, health shifts in unpredictable ways, routines that once gave structure may end, and the sense of control we once had can feel shaken. It's natural in these moments to want to lean fully on children or family, but the truth is they cannot carry all of our emotional burdens, and they have their own responsibilities, struggles, and lives to live. That doesn't mean we walk alone, it means we must learn to build strength within ourselves, so that when loss, disappointment, or loneliness arrives, we have tools to cope. Take Helen, 75, who lost her husband after 50 years of marriage. At first, she leaned heavily on her children, calling often and needing their comfort. But with time, she realized that her healing required more than what her children could give. She began journaling her feelings, joined a support group with others who had walked the same path, and practiced small daily rituals of gratitude, writing down 3 simple things each evening that brought her peace. Slowly, her tears turned to memories she could hold with love, and her days felt lighter. That is emotional resilience, not pretending to be strong or acting as if nothing hurts, but learning to feel, process, and recover in ways that bring healing instead of despair. Building resilience can take many forms: therapy, support groups, creative outlets like art or writing, spiritual practices such as prayer or meditation, time spent in nature, or simple reflection in quiet moments. All of these practices remind you that pain is real, but so is your capacity to heal. And every time you navigate a difficult moment, you grow a little stronger for the next. The truth is, life after 60 will bring both joy and sorrow. You may lose friends, face health scares, or feel waves of loneliness, but you may also discover new passions, deepen relationships, and savor the gift of still being here. What makes the difference is not avoiding hardship but learning how to meet it with steady inner strength. When you have emotional resilience, you don't feel helpless in the face of loss, you feel capable of grieving, capable of coping, and capable of creating peace even in hard seasons. This strength doesn't just help you survive, it allows you to keep living with dignity, hope, and meaning. So give yourself the gift of building resilience now, in small, daily ways. Write, talk, pray, create, or simply sit quietly with your feelings. Each effort makes you steadier inside. Because when the storms of life come, and they will, the strongest pillar you can lean on is the one you've built within your own heart. Pillar 6, Adaptability. The sixth and final pillar is adaptability, your ability to bend with life's changes instead of breaking under them. After 60, one of the hardest truths to accept is that nothing stays exactly the same. Friendships shift, health changes, routines you once loved may no longer fit, and the world itself moves forward faster than ever. Some people fight against change, clinging to the way it used to be, but that often leads to frustration, loneliness, or feeling left behind. The ones who thrive in later life are those who keep their minds open, their hearts curious, and their spirits willing to try new things. Take Frank, for example, a 78-year-old who once had a lively social life built on neighbors and friends who lived nearby. Over the years many moved away, and some sadly passed on, leaving him feeling isolated and cut off. At first he believed this was just how life had to be at his age, but then he chose to adapt. He learned how to make video calls, joined an online discussion group about history, and even made new friends through a local community class. By saying "I'll try" instead of "I can't," Frank turned loneliness into connection, and loss into growth. That's the heart of adaptability. It's not just about accepting change but embracing it, finding new ways to connect, explore, and live fully. Being adaptable might mean learning to use technology to stay close with grandchildren, finding new hobbies when old ones become difficult, adjusting your diet and exercise as your body changes, or even changing your perspective on what happiness looks like in this chapter of life. Every adjustment, no matter how small, opens the door to a fuller and freer experience of aging. And when you combine adaptability with the other 5 pillars, financial stability, good health, a supportive social circle, a sense of purpose, and emotional resilience, you create a foundation that is stronger than relying on anyone else alone. Together, these 6 pillars give you something priceless: independence, safety, and dignity. They ensure you can face life's surprises without feeling powerless or unprepared. Now, take a moment and reflect, which of these 6 pillars in your own life needs the most attention right now? Is it your finances, your health, your friendships, your sense of purpose, your emotional strength, or your adaptability? Identifying the weak spot is the first step towards strengthening it. If this part resonates with you, type 6 in the comments below to let me know you're still here, and to show that you're ready to embrace adaptability in your own life. And if you found this message helpful, please subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, hit the bell icon so you never miss new insights, and share this video with someone else who might need encouragement. Life after 60 doesn't have to be a time of decline. It can be a season of growth, discovery, and deep fulfillment, but only if you build these pillars for yourself. Stay strong, stay curious, and most of all, stay open to change, because the ability to adapt is what will carry you forward with grace and dignity in every stage of life. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care of yourself and keep building the life you deserve.